This is a report about children's Warlpiri in Yuendumu. In 2010, I recorded lots of children telling stories in Warlpiri. This report gives examples of the children speaking strong Warlpiri. We'll see some of the pictures that the children told stories about and listen to what they said. First, we'll hear about verbs, or words that are about actions. The children use lots of different types of verbs in their Warlpiri.
Wal kaul puluko ura and nina chal paluranga.
Kodo chowar kanawati yakora leta kodo. Then pankachela kandapo chandra.
Mano pajono papayago.
Warlpiri verbs can have two parts, a preverb and then a main verb. The children use these complex verbs in their stories.
Kokong chana lanimano.
Lalonde jala kanda kadagara. Muchul nagal warban gam yaluang.
Then muchul kuka wapanjain mulachu.
Another important thing about Warlpiri verbs is that they show the time when something was happening. All the way through the stories, the children show that they know how to use these different verb forms to show the time when the action was happening.
Inya waja kanda manda inya watianga.
Inya waja chondu juga kanyira kuku mucho.
Ngola yano no kapedi pulul kamuragara anangane gabul.
When people are bilingual, such as these children are, it's very common for elements from one language to appear in the other. This happens in verbs when the first part of the verb is an English word. It isn't a problem because the overall structure of the verb is Warlpiri. For example, if you have the English word sleep in sleep jadija, the whole verb is a Warlpiri verb. But it's important to make sure that the children are learning the Warlpiri verbs as well.
Kanda chendo nyambunga ninaja play jeva. Pelang panduno paste jateya.
Ko matanya nomba ordu manu walang.
Ngola makere kelenge binigi mano.
Sometimes other words from English are used. Often these are words that have been borrowed into Warlpiri because there wasn't a Warlpiri word for it. For example, tyre on a car or ladder. This is completely natural and it's not a problem. Sometimes the children use English words when there is a Warlpiri word that they could be using. This is okay as long as the children are learning the Warlpiri word as well. Adults can help by using Warlpiri words when they speak to the children.
Mano to mano inya juga.
Mula so ninaja nando wierba.
Ula lu ninaja ave.
But the children use Warlpiri words most of the time, and they use lots of different kinds of Warlpiri words, which is fantastic. Here are some examples.
Pan yalupa kalija warada yapa ko nyamboko cho.
Kodo Carlo Porlame Kogo Kojago
Ula yaiji warkando purangale kanga. Munga jajal ko walul ko liarbon.
Now let's look at the structure or the grammar of the children's Warlpiri, which means how they put words together to make sentences. One way that Warlpiri differs from English is about showing who is doing an action to someone or something else. In Warlpiri there's an ending on the word that represents who or what is doing an action, called the ergative ending. If someone says,
Kanda wetango amani malike,
we know that the woman did the action. In the children's Warlpiri, they do use the ergative ending most of the time. This is great because it's an important Warlpiri element.
Puloko matingi yang keluar no makiri kilenge.
Wajel pinjam Carlo Kogo ya pajaralo.
A change to the ergative ending is taking place in all of the communities. Speakers often use the ending instead of the longer endings.
Nandojo papuayang pajuno.
Kogonga Chando Kanyera Kojabra urung joko manno kanda utabong chandu.
Another pattern that is in Warlpiri but not in English is when la is used, the way that it's used in these two examples.
Chandu korala wanda jala lada mano kanda veria pudla jalula chandu pado.
Koko yano pena ngora kora.
Kodo jawar karena wati ya kora letra kodo.
An koko jo irano wati yada chando kangoname walyanga.
En wallungan ingin aja tanga cendol kodol whatever
Nando wandija finti wana.
A lot of children use the Warlpiri way of joining sentences together, but some children also use the English word and to do that.
ngula janga jo nang pala kuku kandang mano cendol
En yello kora rijal nyen kat nyeleta jonga.
In Warlpiri, it's important to show how many people are doing an action. 1, 2, or more than 2. A lot of the children do this.
Kanda jira mawita jara palapan game.
Luwano lupuluko wandija walya kora kanunjo. Jira majuk pala wandija kanunjo en pondrun bala watiango.
The children use the verb and auxiliary patterns correctly to show the different times that an action happened, whether it happened in the past, is happening now, or might happen in the future.
kuku yanuna yanulam ka
Speakers have to know the grammatical patterns for joining parts of sentences together. A lot of the children show that they know how to do this.
Papa nyanoloka kanyi chandu wita ayolanja hura wati ya kora.
Ngula wiri yango nyango polo ko karinja kora nandu wana.
nyango kudu jo manyo kare jagara
Mano kudu ka wargani ewan manja kandak.
Most often Warlpiri words end in a vowel, a, I, or u. One change that's taking place in all of the Warlpiri communities is that sometimes the a, I, or u isn't on the end of the word and the word ends in a consonant. In some communities, some other sounds are changing in word endings.
awana yalgon wale jara chandu ngula pa yalugulu ngunaja
Wal kaul puluko ngura kura en nyina chal pal nguranga.
wajil bingalina jo kuku cendol nyanyangol
Kudu pa manyo karija.
Now we're coming to the end of this report. From these examples, we can see how the children in Yuendumu speak strong Warlpiri. The children use complex constructions and lots of different types of words. If families and teachers continue to speak to the children in strong Warlpiri as much as possible, they'll continue to learn it really well.